Coming to you live and in living color, Chaos963 doing it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me some me. Hope this catches you well and feeling good on the better half of this day, your half. I know some of y'all the whole day is your day. Y'all done duck that work thing. Listen, Chaos963, there's information scrolling on the bottom. Shoot me a text, holler at me, let me know what's going on, what's up in your life. Because I'm sure going to tell you what's going on in mine. Power, moving, living, digging, grooving in the power that has been ours, afforded to us since the beginning of time. Now it's time to take advantage of this power that has been given us. Right now, right now, right now. Oh, yeah. So like I said, I hope this finds you good. Finds me great, man. If I was doing any better, I'd have to be twins. True enough, true that. So whenever this finds you, do what you do. Hit it up. Say hi, say bye, say what's up. And give me some thoughts, feedbacks. So we'll do it like that. The best defense is a great offense. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. The best defense is a great offense. The best defense is a great offense. I'll say it one more time. The best defense is a great offense. I see so many of my people just tripping out, man. And if the police come up on you, to put your hands attended to and don't make any fast moves and have all your information sitting on the seat and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, you got to meet your issue and your situation where you are. I told you earlier, personally, I don't even let them come up behind me. When they come up behind me, I tell them, get off. Get off. You got that power. When I leave the house, I tell Anubis, go get around the car, protect the car. I've been known to spit rum on my tires and some more stuff. Because I got tired of that, man. I got tired of living in fear. Every time the cats roll up behind me, I'm doing a mental check. Every now and then I find myself trying to fall back into that a little bit. Homie, don't play that. Not no mirror, don't play that. You are the divine representation on planet Earth. You are the physical manifestation of the divine here. You are God. So I'm through playing with it. Yeah, folks ain't trying to give it and go on. You're trying to, come on. You ain't trying to, go on. You are the living, breathing generator, operator, and destroyer, God on planet Earth. Ain't no other way to cut it. They got some cats that can articulate it a little better, and that's good. Might want to go catch some of them cats, you know, because they bring them. Right now, I ain't got time, man. The house is on fire, and I'd like to explain fire to you. That is an element that it burns at a certain rate. It consumes everything in its path, and so then it burns depending on what the element is. There's a certain degree. If it's still, it's a high degree. I ain't got time for all that. All I got time to do is the house is on fire. Get out. The house is on fire. Danger. Warning, Will Smith. Warning, warning, warning. I ain't got time to explain to you that if you got in here, the fire is going to continue to burn. And what fuels fire is oxygen. And what fuels you as a human being is oxygen. And so if you're in here and the fire is in here, one of y'all going to be sucking up all of the oxygen. And usually it's the fire. Fire going to suck up the oxygen. Woo! They ain't trying to choke me out, man. So, the best defense is a good offense. Any of y'all know anything about some sports? Sure you do. So then, you understand that the defense keeps the offensive team from scoring. Your defense keeps their offensive team from scoring. So, if you want to try to keep their offense from scoring, the best defense is a good offense. What is a good offense? An offense that is on the field using up the time so their offense cannot get on the field and use up the time. All of this is simple, man. All of it is simple. They've tried to make it hard so you can't get it, you don't understand it. But it's simple, man. It's real simple for real. And when you realize how simple it is and stop trying to make it complicated, it's a whole different ball game. If you stop trying to listen to other people and listen to your spirit, it's a whole different ball game. And I guarantee you, your spirit will talk to you. Your guiding angel, whatever you want to call it, your inner being, your melanin, your whatever you want to call it, your third eye, Ani M, Toto, and the Wizard. They're gonna talk to you. You need to be listening, and not gonna talk to you. They are talking to you. They talking to you on the regular. As I speak, they talking to you. Some of them telling you right now, man, hold me kind of off. Turn the channel. Some of them telling you, yeah, dude, this is it. This is the one we've been looking for. They're going to talk to you. And depending on the understanding and the level of all that is what they're going to talk to you and what they're going to say, man, let me loosen this tie for I faint up in here. Bad boy trying to choke me out. So the best defense is a great offense. I want to keep my offense with the ball the whole game if I could. Just keep the ball. I ain't got to worry about their defense. Here's what happens far too often. And here's what happened, what I've been seeing a lot. And here's what led me to this lecture on the night. Lecture, speaking, whatever you want to call it, man. Call it what you can call it what you want to. That was a cold cut. So is the thing that I keep seeing everybody preaching and propounding on defense. This is happening, do that, and we got to do this. And I'm like, man, okay, all that sounds good, and you can block a whole bunch of punches, And I see it still in the block punch mode. But if you don't never hit a cat, you are not gonna win this fight. You are not going to win this fight. You got to hit a dude, man. And you got to hit him hard and hit him often. I promise you, the whole game will change. The whole game will change. Soon as you get in your right place and start popping dude, you're going to see a change. And that's your right place. You're the head. You're not the tail. You're above and not beneath. That's you. That's the place you're supposed to be in. Far too often we talk, well, let's just, if you just, and if it comes and just humble, don't say no. I be listening to some of the stuff they be talking now because they perpetuating that madness right here on the idiot bar. Some of the stuff they be saying, like, well, he wasn't cooperating. Damn, well, I don't understand how much more you can get a cat to cooperate. You got him in handcuffs and whipping on him. So then, offense beats the defense. So into that, you need to understand that you need to be way ahead of the curve. Way ahead of the curve. When I was doing my legal stuff, I got into some heavy legal stuff, man. They got some heavy legal stuff out there. See, I tried a lot of different stuff. First, I tried when I was younger, I tried talking. But talking don't seem to work. And when I say I tried things to put me ahead of the curve. And so when I was little, yeah, talking. But what's kind of messed up when we little, we be talking, we thinking that we winning and getting ahead of the curve, but we ain't. We losing. Because one, we dealing with adults, and they done been there, done that, got the T-shirt and the receipt. So I realized talking wasn't working. I tried fighting. Fighting kind of worked, but you can't fight everybody. And you can't fight all the time. And then when you start fighting certain fights, there's just no win. I was in high school, man, and they had a gym teacher, Mr. Jacobson, big old white boy. I will never forget him. And I was coming out the locker room, and for gym, and everybody else was going out, and he was making a little round through the locker room to make sure everybody else was out to gym. Make sure everybody was out to gym, and I was last. I'm humbling, bumbling, and stumbling, trying to get on out to gym. Get out the locker room to get on into the gym. So he sees me in the locker room, and he's kind of frustrated because I'm kind of habitual later getter outer. He's a habitual later getter outer. And so he comes in and he's like, "Pal, why aren't you in the gym, nigger?" I said, "Whoa." So now, let me explain something to you. When I was growing up, one, we use the word. People say this, that, and the other. And it was then and it's still now at times for my age group, my culture time, I don't know what you call it. Me and my partners, it was a term of endearment for real. That's yeah. So, but it wasn't for him. So when he said that, it sparked the other side of that coin. Now the other side of the coin is that if any of them say that, meaning white people, Europeans, or whatever you want to say, what it translates to when they said it was, will you whip my ass? That's a direct translation. Will you whip my ass? So when he said it, I understood the language, and so I proceeded to try to. But now, Mr. Jackson was a big dude, and he's a grown man, and even though I was thought I was grown, I was not grown. So having been, raised in the hood, there's hood rules to fighting too. There's a lot of rules, man. A lot of rules, and it behooves you to know the rules. And one of the rules in fighting is, and unbeknownst to a lot of people, is if you in a fight, throw the first punch. A lot of people turn around because we wasn't my crew, we wasn't like, what you, yeah, but you know what, man? Because then you, and this, well, your mama was, my crew was like, what? Oh, what? Because see, done already raised to the level, we finna fight. Now, usually the other cat was trying to pump himself up. He tried to put 220 volt on himself. And we kind of knew, from, like I say, the fabric we was cut out of, we knew automatically, no, we here, you there, we got an issue, the issue's it can't go but one way. So we would throw the punch. So, I'm sitting there with Mr. Jackson, the situation come down, and sure enough, he said, and he let that come out of his mouth. And so I went down there and threw the punch. Now, he's tall, dude, like I said, so I had to jump up on the bench, and I run down a little bench, little bleacher in between the lockers, and cracked him up real good. And got a few good ones in, too, before he just did that booger bear hug roll, grabbed me, bounced me off a locker or two, and then, held me, and then they drug me down to the principal's office. But about the fight, I'm telling you, first punch, knowing you're in a fight, when you're in a fight, take the fight to the person. We're in this fight, and we're too busy trying to do all this defensive stuff and not throwing no offensive stuff. And by doing that, there's never going to be a win in that. Never going to be a win in that. We've got to be on the offensive, man. And now a lot of folks don't know how to be on offense. Now let me first make something real clear. I'm speaking spiritual. Because first I tried to do the word thing, and that didn't work. Then I tried to do the fight thing. And so now, after understanding the fight principle, after understanding the arguing the word talking principle, after understanding even the legal principle, I come into the spiritual principle, and I use those understandings in the word, the speaking, try to talk your way in and out, and then the fighting in and out. And now I'm up to this, it's about the spiritual, but I need to use those principles in the spiritual realm. So one, I throw the first spiritual punch. If I think and see that it's going that way, I'm finna throw the spiritual punch. So, but after the fighting thing, because I kind of got ahead of myself there, it came down to the legal thing. And so in the legal battles, I was going to share with you that the one thing that I would do in preparation for my legal battle, I would submit a glossary to the court. And in that glossary, I would outline that these are the words that will be used, and these are the definitions of these words. So it would already be understood ahead of time some guidelines for this fight. And you have the perfect right to do that. Matter of fact, in dealing with these people pro se, or however you want to say it, you have a broad and wide amount of leniency that you can take, and so it's to your best interest to do that. So I haven't fought the word fight, fought the fought the legal fight, went to church and got double dipped because I was saved once when I was a little shorter and I got saved again when I got older. So I dealt with the religious fight, and I want to separate the two, religion from spirituality, because religion never really did much for nobody on the serious tip. I mean, it's cool for the moral aspects and all that, but trying to get some showing up, religion is man trying to reach up to God. Spirituality is God when he's reached down and it's touched you, when he's in you, and you know and understand that. So having gone through, like I said, the word thing, the fight thing, the legal thing, the religious thing, and now the spiritual thing. And in the spiritual thing, it has been victory after victory. And let me explain that a little bit. When you see the church, today's church, the Christian church, and the other ones, you know, every organized religion that will spawn off the basic religions. You know, when I say I mean all of them. I'm leaving that just right there like that there. Unless you have been allowed to be anointed with a specific amount of spiritual insight and been around some people that have some serious spiritual insight, religion is just not going to do it for you. You know, we've been somewhat praying for hundreds of years, and I would almost say to no avail. They gave us religion, and it should have been a sign right there when they said, well, you know what, y'all can do church, and y'all can practice this Christianity. We should have said, look, these cats ain't never gave us nothing but a whip and a hard time. So I don't understand why we think that now something's come different. Well, it wasn't. So when I got into serious spirituality, and let me say that it happened when I started meditating. That was one of the first breakthroughs that I can remember. And well, let me say this. Prior to that, when I started fasting, I would notice that where I went was deeper and more profound than the things I was being taught and told on the church front. And I just had assumed that, okay, well, I just made a quasi-natural breakthrough, but within the same element, so to speak. But it really wasn't. It was on a whole different plane. So I'd be fasting, and I would like break through dimensions and zones and all this. And nobody explained it to me, and I really didn't understand. I would see it in the Word and couldn't correlate the two, you know. I would see where, I forget the prop, I think it was Peter. Yeah, I think it was Peter, but it was one of them that said he'd have been baptized. No, it must have been Jesus. Well, I should know that. But anyway, I'm going to look it up. Said he was baptized after he dipped in the water. When he came up out the water, he was in Jerusalem. So he did some sort of move, some sort of, I'm looking for the word, travel, you know, and interdimensional. But if you don't read it like that and see it like that, then you don't see it like that. But that's the only way it could have been, because it wasn't like he said, and he came up and he jumped on the camel and mashed out, boom, there it was. They don't say that. So I was having that level of experience coming out of my fasting. And when I say that level, I mean it was I would have experiences where I would have visions, and the visions would be just so deep to where you're there, and it's as real as this is here now while you're in the vision. And then when you come out the vision, immediately all your natural, your faculty starts to tell you, no, see that, and it starts trying to tone that down, trying to tone that down for you, because I was having experiences even when I was a kid that were kind of galactic. And again, no one there to explain it to me, because I was telling people, I tell my mom, and I said, look, I was in the room, and and one day I'll share in depth on that, but today we're talking about defense. But she just kind of poo-pooed it, and I'd be like, wow, I guess it ain't that big a thing or something, because they didn't appear to react like I felt they should react, like, don't you think that's kind of phenomenal, And they would, don't trip, okay. So as those things would happen as I got older, particularly like with the fasting and whatnot, I would just visions and just I would transcend dimensions and whatnot, and I didn't have the words and stuff for it then, but I would be fasting, and then I started coupling that with meditation, and I would be sitting there, and I would be involved in a vision. I would transform and it was like, but I mean, it ain't like you sleep, you wide awake, but then it's not like regular awake. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about, and some of you don't, but as to experience it, you will. But it starts to let you know that there's some serious power going on here. For one, I wasn't really in control of it, and it was just happening quasi on its own. And I said, wow, so after that, when I started meditating, I started looking for that, and things opened up. And it's so open now it's not even funny. And let me tell you, when you understand who you are and what you come from and where you're going and et cetera, things change. So I get back to the defense. So I was explaining a while back how when I go back and go out now, that when the police get up behind me now, I literally just tell them to get off of me. Go around me, get off me. And that authority, and they get off of you. And it's interesting because the more you get into it, the better understand you get, and particularly the more books and all you read. I say oftentimes that the man who knows one book knows none. I read books now, and I'm like, what? Why didn't I get this book 10, 20 years ago? Well, when the pupil's ready, the teacher will appear. So obviously I wasn't ready. I thought I was, and still think I was. I'd have liked to gave it a shot, for real. So there's a lot of literature out there, and you should be trying to get some of that literature, because I know some of you are experiencing some supernatural, phenomenal things and don't really know how to put a label on it. And I had a friend named Renee, beautiful sister, beautiful. We dated for a while, and she's really a friend of my sister, my older sister. And let me tell you, I love the girl. She was fine as frog hair, man. She looked so good. She was a 10 on habit form. She was like bad, just, And when we dated, she was different. And I really can't explain it much better than that, but she was different. She would go through phases and whatnot, And you learn that your woman, okay, well, she's tripping, I'm gone, As I got older, I found out that she was hearing voices and whatnot. And I thought, because now I'm into some stuff, so I'm thinking, wow, it's too bad she didn't know somebody that could have helped her, work through that. And first and foremost, ask them, who are you and what do you want? You know, and I'm just keep it real. And she'd have been here today. Eventually, it drove her insane, and she had to be heavily medicated, and she lost that battle, lost her grip with reality. And I don't remember if it was a suicide. I don't think it was a suicide. I don't remember what it was. It was just a total, complete breakdown, and she went on. And she was, you know, she was too young to go on. But so I say all that to say that the power is here, and more important than that is the fact that the power is increasing. This thing is it's on it's 220 volt now, man. You know, it was 110 a while back, but now it's 220. And you could see it in things. And once you start kind of moving in this, you start seeing, you see it everywhere. You see it everywhere, and you understand it on every level. And one of the things I see is when I look at the climate, look at what's happening around us, man. A lot of folks is kind of losing their grip, and they're having problems dealing with it. Well, they don't understand it to be, you know, a lot of energy. It's just literally being released. And if you don't have the capacity to deal with that energy, then it's going to deal with you. So that's what's up. And to all that, I digress back to the original title. The best defense is a good offense. So as you're dealing with stuff, it behooves you to take control and grab the bull by the horns and guide the thing. A lot of you think, well, I don't know about, I don't understand. Well, it's not about knowing or really understanding. And I know that's a wild statement for some people. It's about what it is. And I mean that and say that because that's what it is. So if you're dealing with something, for example, I would tell Renee today, if I saw her and I did you hear the voice, stop, literally stop, ask them, who are you? What are you? What do you want? And then if necessary, if you were losing your grip because of, you stop right now. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you talking to me. Because that's, whoa, I did not plan on going in. But okay. Because that's who you are. And that's the power that you have. And need to understand that. We running this, man. You know, I hear a lot of folks talking about, you know, all this other madness going on. Let me tell you, even into all that, it's not what it thinks it is, and it's not what you think it is. We run it, man. This thing, listen, you talk about, you know, everybody talk about God and all the other different names that they have for him, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, okay, let's look at that. Is your God so weak that this thing is slipped and it's out of control? He doesn't have any control over what's going on? Because you might need to research a new God. You know? Is your God so that he's like lightweight schizophrenic or something? Well, if you don't do this, and then I'm gonna wipe all you, and I'm gonna well, okay. Because listen, if he's the creator, then we're the created in that image. So now you need to look at that and think, well, if I was God, what would I be doing? How would I run this? Because we have that essence. No matter what faith you walk in, you have that divine thing in you. Would you be running like that? So I say all that to say, look, nothing is out of control, and I take mine a little further and say that what we see going on is really a reflection of us. Well, our causation, we kind of, we got a part in this. We talk about will, free will and things. Well, okay, well, but I'm saying that if we are the firstborn of many brethren, to use the biblical verse, if we are the offspring, then consequently we are what he is or she is. And that being the case, we have that nature too. And that nature is a nature of peace, love, power, whatever. Then that's what we can implement into our lives. I refuse to let it be chaotic and all that, because that's just not what's up. Around here, we call the shots. I think it was Jacob said it's for me and my house. Well, it's going to be like this, for me and mine. Everybody around here under this roof, The greatest defense is a good offense, a great offense. Take control. And again, I have to belabor the point. If you don't know all the things that some other folks know, because, oh man, I ain't poured near a libation. Because that's one thing I know to do. I know to call on the ancestors that have done it for me and are watching over me, that have said that they will help in all my situations. And I call on them to let them help in my situations. And so that's what I do. When I pour the libation, I'm calling on them for that help. So then, I need to pour this into some. I'm going to pour it into my canteen here. So that's another thing that you can do. You can call on the powers that be, and I'm not saying in a prayer type way, because listen, when we say the ancestors, there's the ones that have gone on before us. I always pour my mom and all that. Let me do that right quick, because I do want to pour the Julia Myrtle, Ashe, William Fredericks, Ashe, Aunt Diana, Ashe, Daddy, Grandma, Ashe, Uncle Wayne, Ashe, Uncle Thaddeus, Ashe, Ava, Shani, great-grandmother, Ashe, Paulo, Ashe, Papa Legba, Ashe, Pan, Ashe, Muhammad Ali, Ashe, Cristo Negro, Ashe, Cristo Rey, Ashe, Fairies, Ashe, the Imps, Ashe, Anubis, Ashe, all the guys known and unknown, Ashe, all the ancestors known and unknown, Ashe, your ancestors known and unknown, Ashe. Because I was saying about praying to them and how that really works. The way it works is that, that's the ancestors I pour to. I mean, I know their family, the spiritual deities you deal with, you can get to know. It's family. And so when you deal with them, it's like you would talk to family. And sometimes, when you're in a crunch mode, you might not be so cordial, civil, with like family. Like, man, y'all need to come on. See these cats messing with me. I seen people when they typically pour libations with liquor. I seen folks leave, and I've done this, and leave the ancestors' food, Listen to your spirit. Whatever you hear, feel, you move in that. Because that's the strongest ritual, if you will, that you can have. But call on it. Go in for the win. Be offensive. When you leave the house, you Put spirits in front of you, spirits behind you, spirits around your car. When you go into a building, do the same thing. When you go into a job interview or whatnot, do the same thing. When you go into any arena, do it. Speak it. I take authority over this place. There'll be no harm come me or foul play come my way. And be that God that you are. The best defense is a good offense. Take the offensive position. Call those things, as the Bible says, that are not as though they are. Speak to the mountain. Whatsoever ye pray, when you pray, believe. You know, that's real important, that speaking it with intent. And again, I was careful to not use the word prayer, but whatever you speak with intent, to whatever situation you speak to with intent, know that that's coming around. Keeping them short for now. Just a little something, little B12 shot. Back in the day, they had a big fad, B12. It was like a vitamin shot, and folks was taking them. They just juice a cat up for a minute, you know. That was your B12 shot. Chaos963 doing it to you in 3D. I'll be back on tomorrow doing it again. Doing a lot of stuff to build a little platform, because I'm looking for some folk that need to hear this, because I want folk to understand who you are, know the victory that you have, and walk in that victory, because that's what it's supposed to be about. So until next time, I bid you farewell, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And if you do, name it after me. Oh, shoot. Peace out.